Today we had the big Fed meeting and we had Jerome Powell step up to the stand and give his speech, which led to some really big moves in the market. Today I'm going to talk about whether or not these moves are sustainable, where we're headed from here, what I think on the dollar, gold market, and of course, the stock market indices. We see the dollar index trading lower here today, sliding to the lowest point of 2024, believe it or not. The dollar index continues to fall and tumble down lower off of what Jerome Powell had to say. We'll talk about that in just a moment. At the same time, we got stocks ripping very strong here, and we've got gold just about to hit another all-time closing high if we do close near current levels. At the time of recording this, we're trading at 25.16. I've got a trade running on a bunch of different stuff that I'll walk you through here and talk you through my goals for each position as we get started. As we get started, do me a big favor, hit the thumbs up button if you enjoy these free videos, subscribe if you're new. Let's jump in. And if you're somebody who took advantage of our free trial of the Edgefinder this week, the doors have closed, so unfortunately, if you didn't get to try it, that is no longer available. But if you did try it, I got some cool, exciting news for you. We are dropping for today a 35% off discount. For those of you guys who tried out the Edgefinder and you liked it, now's your chance to get a really nice discount. If you're somebody who tried it out, you checked out all the different features like the commitment of traders data, the data scanners, the seasonality tools, our top setups algorithm, the tool is on sale for 35% off. If you'd like some more information about that, you can click the first link in the description and speak to a member of our team who can set you up with that discount code to get you 35% off and answer any questions you might have about the tool. If you're somebody who did take the 5-day trial here that just ended, that you can also speak directly to a member of our staff that you were already working with, as we had our team do the trials manually. So you probably have been already working with somebody on our team. So don't miss it. It's 35% off. That is available for a short period of time. So there you go. So I want to start with gold here today, which jumped back up. And I'm not going to lie, this entry on gold made me feel kind of like a superhero for a little bit there. My entries are not always this good, but are you kidding me? Look at the risk to reward. Well, I had a bigger stop loss initially. I trailed my stop just before Jerome Powell came out and gave his speech. But look at the movement here. Look at the violent snapback after we hit this level of support off of the 4-hour chart and daily chart levels. And again, gold is just an unstoppable train this year. It seems just like every single dip gets bought. Buyers are strong, and for good reason. Let's talk about what Jerome Powell basically said today, which got the market very much bearish on the dollar and bullish on things like gold and stocks. Well, if we take a look at what JP had to say, basically he said, you know, the Fed has two specific things that they really want to watch closely, which is the jobs market and also inflation or prices. And so what we've been seeing in the last, 12 months, as we initially started to see all the Fed's attention was going to inflation. Oh my gosh, inflation is so bad. It's going crazy. We need to get inflation under control. So they rose that interest rate up to combat inflation. That is traditionally how central banks handle inflation, as they raise borrowing costs to slow down the economy in order to get prices under control. That seems to have worked. At least for now, what we see is inflation has shifted. A couple months ago, Jerome Powell started to say, well, now the concern, if this dot is our concern dot, there's still a concern for inflation, but now there's also a concern about the labor market, which is showing signs of slowing. We'll discuss that in a moment. But today, we got something brand new. Now, Jerome Powell took the stand, and you know what he said? He said, we're not worried about inflation anymore. We are pretty much really worried just about jobs. The shift here made the markets fly. And why did it cause the dollar to crash? Well, because if inflation concerns are no longer really the main source of attention, then the Fed's not going to rate hike, and they're probably just going to look to cut rates. There's only a path towards rate cuts now that inflation seems to at least be off of the Fed's radar for now. All the attention is now being pulled over by the jobs market. So the jobs data slowing is really what it's all about. And so when the jobs data is slowing, what benefits in that scenario? Gold, TLT, bonds, stocks, right? Why? Because now we're going to see Fed interest rates, or the federal funds rate, come down to try and assist this area of Jerome Powell and the Fed's dual mandate. Again, we mentioned they want to see price stability and jobs. For a little while, inflation was taking all the attention. Now it's all about the jobs, right? So let's take a look at that jobs data for a second. What we see here is that the NFP the last time around was pretty weak. It came in lower than expectations by a good margin. If we take a look at the private sector or ADP numbers, we saw that come in light. We've seen unemployment claims pretty high, but not necessarily crashing or anything like that. We also have job openings closing, slowing down in the US. And so there is a clear trend that we can see towards unemployment rate rising, labor data slowing, and this has the Fed's attention. We also see wage growth deteriorating or going lower. It's not necessarily that people are getting their job prices cut or they're not getting paid less. They're just getting less raises. And this has been great for the inflation story because, again, although everybody likes a raise, who doesn't like a raise? What's nice here about this story here is that people are still getting raises, but they're not getting aggressive raises, which was the inflation or one of the inflation catalysts. What we see here is a pretty clear picture, guys, that the Fed is paying close attention to jobs, which are cooling down, right? The labor market is cooling down, and that cool down effect has people selling the dollar. Because why? Because the Fed is likely to cut interest rates to help out the job side. Cutting rates makes the currency less attractive because foreign investment gets less paid. If the borrowing or the lending rate goes down, then people are going to be less inclined to buy bonds, right? Because the interest rate offered by bonds is inevitably going to go down if the Fed starts to cut rates, which is why we see the 2-year yield down 2% today, which is pretty substantial. It's why we see gold moving up because rate cuts are just generally bullish for gold. And that has been the theme this year. And believe it or not, gold has not only done well recently, it is outperforming this year's performance against the S&P 500. The S&P 500 has had a really good year. It is something that I am bullish on and currently have positioning on. Today's been a really good day for my personal allocation. I'm long the S&P 500, which continues to float higher. I'm also long the IWM, which is the Russell Index, which is smaller cap companies, which are killing it today off of the back that we're going to get rate cuts and we might even see a soft landing in the United States. That seems right now to be the path of least resistance. The Fed seems to be cutting interest rates into an economy that's not crashing, but it's slowing down. And that scenario drives to a soft landing, the idea that the economy can, cool off but not crash. They can cut interest rates and then things can potentially reaccelerate. That tells you another reason why maybe oil is up today. Maybe oil is up today because people think, soft landing means the Fed cuts interest rates, demand kind of grows again as the economy grows again, and then we see demand for commodities start to pick up. It's possible that in 2025, even though commodities have been getting pretty hit recently, you take a look at copper, you take a look at platinum, take a look at these things that have been not performing very well, it's possible that you start to see a turnaround story if we do in fact have a soft landing that plays out in the United States and globally. So we'll see. But again, the sign that I really like here is that the Russell 2000, the small cap index, is doing quite well on today's data or on today's news from Jerome Powell. It definitely seems like a soft landing is a good probability of happening, never a certainty. There is no certainties in financial markets, but it seems like the market is pretty much poised for a soft landing right now. That being said, between the time now and we start to see Fed interest rate cuts coming into the picture, here's what I want to see. For me personally, as I am very long the indices right now, and that's been my play the last few weeks, here's the thing I want to see. I want to see the economic data actually I want to see the economy do okay, right? I don't want to see it really seriously deteriorate. I want to see jobs data hold in there or even, hopefully even go up. That would be strong. As we start to see this inflation problem, we heard from Powell that inflation seems to be not as big of an issue, which means, okay, great. They have the permission to cut rates. Now we need the economy to hold in there. That's really where you're going to get the soft landing, make or break it story. Another big thing for stock market investors is that we have NVIDIA earnings coming in, and I am a fresh shareholder. I've not held NVIDIA. Actually, believe it or not, I owned NVIDIA in 2022 and sold it when it pushed higher. I thought, I made a good profit. I'll just take it here. Little did I know, NVIDIA kept going for a couple years after that. But anyways, I did buy some NVIDIA recently on the pullback. We have NVIDIA earnings August 28th. This is going to be a big mover for the stock market and for the tech trade. If you're somebody who's trading the NASDAQ or watching, semiconductors like myself, I will be very closely watching this. And I may actually even live stream that event. It will be happening August 28th after the bell, which is about 4 p.m. U.S. Eastern time. So I'll be watching that. That'll be a big event for stock market traders like myself, and we'll keep an eye on that. In terms of the dollar index, again, taking out the 102 level seems to have just been the start, as now we see we're just around 100 on the dollar index. It's not that far away. We could be going down into the 2-digit number, the 99s, rather than the 3-digit hundreds. So it's possible that that does happen if we continue to see a trend towards rate cuts take place. And, in terms of setups this week, I don't know if you guys saw this, but the Edgefinder has just been spot on. The gold idea has been a killer. If you were watching gold this week, it really bounced back. The NASDAQ idea, very strong as well. The Nikkei, also very strong. Pound has been ripping. The top setups page on the Edgefinder has been very correct this week if you've been watching it. Just a reminder that opportunity to get access for 35% off is going to be a short run sale that we're doing on the product. So if you'd like to get access to our tools while they are very cheap or low price, you can take advantage by clicking the first link in the description. Thank you guys for watching today's video, and have a nice weekend. If you're looking for a better brokerage, then stick around for a second. I'm going to tell you how you can get some free sign-up perks with great brokerages all around the world. Whether you trade FX or indices, commodities, futures, all of the above, I'm going to show you a really cool way that you can get free sign-up perks with your new account. So if you're interested in switching into a different brokerage, you can get things like deposit bonuses or free stock shares, or you can even get access to some of our products for completely free. All you have to do to find out current perks being offered to new depositors is go to a1trading.com/brokers. That's a1trading.com/brokers. And as you look at that page, you'll see all these different offerings that we've currently locked down for you guys as subscribers, as viewers. Now, of course, we get something out of this. If you choose to use these links, you'll be supporting our page. But in return for the viewers, we've got great sign up perks available for you guys so that you get some free game just by signing up for a brokerage if you're looking to do so. So check it out on our website. You can find current deals at a1trading.com/brokers. Thanks for watching this video, and on the screen right now you'll see some other options of other videos we put together that might be helpful to you in your trading career. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.